Hello, children. Welcome back to Class 5 English Poem 2 Tiger, written by Leslie Norris. Before we go to the poem, we'll give a small introduction about the poet. George Leslie Norris was a poet and short story writer. He taught at academic institutions in Britain and the United Nations. Norris is considered one of the most important Welsh writers, and his work has won many prizes. Some of his famous literary works are Finding Gold, Sliding, and The Girl from Cardigan. Many of his poems speak about the beauty of the natural world. He was a poet and short story writer. His works won many prizes. Many of his work speak about the beauty of natural world. The poem Tiger contrasts the pride and freedom of a tiger in its natural habitat, the jungle, with its pitiable condition in zoo. The poet asks us to understand the reason behind the quiet rage of the tiger. Now let's understand what is the theme of the poem. The theme of the poem is the poet explains the helplessness of the caged tiger that lives in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he could be a free animal. The poet had tried to explain about the condition of animals that had been caged by human beings for their own fun. The rhyming scheme in the poem is ABCB. It means you get rhyming words only in second and fourth line, such as cage, rage, grass, pass, edge, village, and so on. Now listen to the poem Tiger. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on paths of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. In the first stanza, the poet says that the tiger in the zoo walks in the limited space provided to it in the cage. It takes a few steps. There are stripes on its body which are quite prominent, means quite noticeable. Its paws are soft like velvet. No noise is produced when it walks on its pads of velvet. The tiger is silent, but it is in a rage, means in an anger. In the second stanza, the poet suggests that the cage is not the proper place for the tiger. It is not its natural habitat. The tiger in the cage is a victim of human cruelty. Usually, tigers are found sitting under some bushes or long grass near a stream or water hole. As soon as they see their prey, like deer coming there to drink water, they slide silently through the grass and kill them. The poet wants to convey to us that this tiger should be there in the forest, its natural habitat. In the third stanza, the poet proceeds further, giving another suggestion that the tiger should be sitting at the jungle's edge in close vicinity of a village. It should be terrorizing the people passing that way by showing its sharp teeth, baring its claw, and producing low sound of anger. In the fourth stanza, the poet expresses deep sympathy at the plight. Plight means unpleasant situation of the tiger that is imprisoned in the cell made of concrete. Concrete means mixed material like cement, sand, small pieces of stone, and water. He cannot come out of it because strong bars are fixed at the concrete cell stop him. Thus, the poet says that the tiger's strength is locked behind the bars. The tiger shows no interest in looking at the visitors. Rather, he keeps on stalking. Stalking means walking in angry and proud manner in the limited space of the cage. In the fifth stanza, the poet again takes the reader to the cage where the tiger is sitting in the cage and feeling unpleasant and restless. He hears the sound created by the patrolling cars of the zoo authorities. Patrolling means moving about to check any danger is there or what. He hears the sound created by the patrolling cars of the zoo authorities. He shows no interest in them. The poet has shown him staring at the shining stars with his brilliant eyes. Thus, the poem ends up at the point where it has started. The poet raises a moral issue here. He intends to present a strong case against the cruelty on animals which are kept in cages. So, children, if you have caged any animal or any bird, you should let it go. Think about yourself. If you are locked up in a room, how will you feel? You won't have any freedom. So, we are no one to take away the freedom of these animals whose home is the natural habitat jungle, the entire environment, and not a house or cage. Hope you all have understood the summary of the poem. Thank you.